You see, if you don't understand, this is deep, that there's a supernatural reason for your existence, you'll stop challenging life for what it hands you instead of demanding what it's supposed to give you. You'll stop challenging life. You'll just settle for what it hands you. But when there's a supernatural reason for your existence, you can't shuck and jive. You can't play around. You can't waste days in unforgiveness. You can't waste days in sin. You can't waste days in small thinking. You can't waste days wondering why your biological father wasn't there when you were young. You can't waste days why your overly emotionally attached mother did certain things. Because teach me to number my days, that I might apply my heart to wisdom. My stack's going down, God. You got something for me to do. There's going to be a moment at the Bema seat when we look eye to eye with each other, and I'm going to want to hear, well done, good and faithful servant. I want to be like the Apostle Paul, 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 6. Now the time of my departure is at hand. I'm ready to be poured out as a drink offering. I like that. He says he's ready to be poured out. In other words, he's saying he died empty. In other words, there wasn't any unused potential. In other words, there wasn't any expressions of love that wasn't extended. In other words, there wasn't any forgiveness that I withheld. Now the time of my departure is at hand. I'm ready to be poured out as a drink offering. I've fought a good fight. I've kept the faith. I've finished my race, and now there awaits a crown of righteousness, but not just me, all those who have followed my righteous example. Paul was saying, my stack's going down, man. Teach me to number my days. I want to make sure that when I leave here, all of my potential is utilized. There's a verse in Ecclesiastes called Ecclesiastes 3:11. And it says this: God has planted eternity in the hearts of men. God has planted eternity in the hearts of men. This is deep. There are two measurements of time. The first one is eternity, which is where God exists. He's Alpha and Omega, beginning and end. He has no beginning and he has no end. He always was and always will be. But you and I exist in a realm called time. It's finite. I was born January 25th, 1967. If I die January 25th, 2067, that will be 100 years. That will be a 100-year slice out of eternity. So pay close attention now. So when the verse says God has planted eternity in the hearts of men, that means he's taken something from his realm, eternity, and he's deposited it in your realm, time. And he's saying, give birth to it in time. Don't come back to eternity with what I sent you in the time to deposit. That's the reason why the thing you're believing God for seems impossible. It seems out of this realm. You know why? Because it is. It is. It's out of this realm. That's why you don't have the money, you don't have the staff, you don't have the building, you don't have the resources, you don't have the funding. You know why? Because he's taken something from his realm, eternity, placed it in your heart called time, and he's saying give birth to it. And you can only accomplish it with his help. God has planted eternity in your heart.